All right, we welcome back David Heurtel from his 10-month summer vacation break. Our feature is brought to you by Guaranteed Industries. For high-efficiency Lennox furnaces and heat pumps, call Guaranteed Industries, 514-342-3400. Guaranteed Industries since 1957. David, how are you?
I'm doing great, Aaron. How are you?
Good, thank you. You're not a Giants fan, are you?
I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and I'm very happy about yesterday.
I forgot.
Because your Giants got crushed,
okay.
and the Cowboys won their game. But I didn't know the Giants had a Habs jersey.
It's their 125th anniversary jersey. I think was only for the week. Don't get excited. I forgot he was a Cowboys fan. Big mistake. All right, David, a couple of stories here. I want to start, I know it's not on your list. I want to start with Craig Sauvé. We've taken a lot of calls on this today. And I want to know what you think. Was this a giant blunder or not?
Well, if you look at it from Craig Sauvé and the NDP's perspective, obviously, I don't think it was thought of as a blunder. First of all, because I heard your exchanges with the callers, first of all, normally a candidate will approve every single piece of ads, promotional materials, everything in a campaign. So I'd be very surprised that Craig Sauvé did not approve this. Whether it's from his campaign manager or anybody else in the campaign. That's one. Two, it's a very tight by-election. Obviously, the Liberals are going through very, very difficult times, even though this was before a sure Liberal writing. This is not the case this time around. The Bloc is putting a lot of pressure and could pull this one out as well. So let's face it, the left in this country, and I dare say the far left, whether it's Projet Montréal, whether it's Québec Solidaire, or the NDP, and by the way, most organizations are the same for the three parties in Quebec. I mean, people that organize for the NDP also organize for Québec Solidaire and also organize for Projet Montréal. So this will come as no surprise. And Craig Sauvé was a former Projet Montréal city councilor before he became an independent. So let's face it here. In a very tight race, I think somebody in the Sauvé camp thought it was a good idea to activate some base here and try to get them to the polls, especially during this weekend of advanced polling and next week being the actual election on the 16th. So I think this might have been, like a Hail Mary, desperate attempt to activate some segment of the left-wing base of the party, which is pro-Palestinian.
So it's interesting to describe it as a Hail Mary. I mean, you go ahead and decide to do something like this. You're supposed to look at all possible reactions, repercussions. It seems to me almost that would have been something they forgot to do, saying, you know what, we'll put you in front of the flag. And we heard from one caller, by the way, David, who said there have been protesters outside of his riding office and others as well, not just his. And this is pandering to them. Is it pandering?
It is pandering, but at the same time, in the context of a by-election, turnout is going to be low. The winner, especially in a tight three-way race, is the party that's going to be able to get as many of their supporters out to vote. So I think this was, yes, it was pandering, but again, you could talk about Projet Montréal's performance during the protests at McGill and at Victoria Square over the summer. And is there any doubt that Projet Montréal was definitely picking sides in the struggle, and that's picked sides since the October 7th attacks? No. The Québec Solidaire, the same thing, and the NDP, the same thing.
Okay.
And the fact is, I just want to give an example. I mean, this, bringing in an international conflict into local elections is something that you're going to see not only here in this by-election, but we're seeing in the U.S. Look at Michigan right now is in play because the Muslim community right now in Michigan is saying, well, which is a traditional Democratic vote, is sending a clear warning to the Democrats that they may not vote Democrat this time around. So this is being seen throughout North America. This is being seen in Europe as well, and the NDP is staking a position. Now, will it activate other bases? Does that mean that there are other people that are going to say who maybe didn't plan on voting, who don't agree with this that are going to show up at the polls on the 16th and vote for either the Liberals or the Bloc. But in a three-way race, maybe the NDP is seeing an opportunity here.
All right. Interesting way to take a look at it. You brought up the Bloc. The Bloc is in the news for another reason as well. The fact that they, what is it? They have now a list of demands that they will present to the Liberals, to Justin Trudeau. So if they go ahead with that list of demands, they promise not to bring the government down. What do you make of that?
Well, the Bloc, it's the same thing. It was the same thing 20 years ago with Gilles Duceppe. It's always the same thing. Oh, we're going to look out for Quebec's interests, and that's going to guide our vote. But ultimately, what's happening here is that there's a huge trap here, and the Bloc has fallen into it in the past and to its detriment. Right now, Pierre Poilievre, while not leading in Quebec, there were polls that showed him in the lead earlier this summer in Quebec. In the Léger, he's trailing the Bloc, but at the same time, he's way ahead from Aaron O'Toole's numbers back in 2021. That means that there would definitely be a seat increase for the Conservatives, and that would be at the expense of the Bloc, Aaron. And so if the Bloc starts voting with the Liberals, guess what Pierre Poilievre is going to say? Aha! There it is. There it is, fellow Quebecers. The Bloc Québécois is with Justin Trudeau. Mm-hmm. If you disagree with Justin Trudeau, there you go. Why are you voting Bloc? And on the other side, if the Bloc actually does not vote with Justin Trudeau on certain things, will they really want to provoke an election? No, they won't. So they're kind of caught here. I really think that this is going to help the Conservatives, because right now the situation is that I don't think the Bloc wants to vote for the censure motion that's going to be presented by Pierre Poilievre, doesn't want to go into an election right now, because it would actually lose a couple of seats to the Conservatives right now. And so they're kind of caught. And also, very important, Quebecers, even in the regions, who traditionally supports the Bloc, you have several, at every other or 2 or 3 election cycles, Quebecers get sick and tired of voting for the Bloc. We saw it in 2011 with the Jack Layton wave. They just say, hold on a second. Are we always going to vote with the opposition? Do we want to continuously stay out of power? And so I'm wondering here, if Pierre Poilievre gets a decent Francophone lieutenant, a high-profile candidacy here, and then the Bloc starts voting with Justin Trudeau, I think this is going to hurt the Bloc. I truly do. It's going to help Pierre Poilievre in Quebec.
You know, I look at this and I think to myself, I can't remember the last time I heard the Bloc say anything coming out of Ottawa that was remotely interesting or provocative. And all of a sudden, here's their chance to, get a little bit of light shone on them. So this is what they come up with. But to your point, David, at the end of the day, it's kind of meaningless.
It is meaningless. And honestly, right now, people, ordinary Quebecers and ordinary Canadians, especially in Quebec right now, nobody has any appetite to talk about independence or referendums. Right now, it's about the cost of living, inflation, economic slowdown, housing, healthcare, education, obviously more provincial issues. But the thing is that the Bloc is nowhere on these issues, on the day-to-day kitchen table issues of Quebecers. And so if Justin Trudeau doesn't start talking to those issues very seriously, and Pierre Poilievre is able to connect and continues to connect with right-wing conservative voters that usually vote Bloc, I think there's an opening here, because right now there's absolutely no appetite for the nationalist tropes that we're used to.
Speaking of, let me just take your real kind of take on this. We heard earlier on, Mark Carney has now been invited by the Liberals. They have their big get-together out in Nanaimo, BC. Yeah. He's a, quote, special advisor to the Prime Minister for some economic group that they plan to put together. Yeah. Good move, bad move? Because as I said to the reporter when we talked about this is the same Mark Carney, outside of the governor of the Bank of Canada, who was talked about as a possible successor to Justin Trudeau. What do you think?
Well, if you're a big Godfather fan, the first thing you'll think of is keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. But the other piece is also that I think this is part of a broader game plan for Justin Trudeau. Now that he's freed from the supply and confidence agreement with the NDP, I think you're going to see Justin Trudeau go more to the center, go more to kitchen table issues, talking more about the economy, but in a concrete way. But also my feeling, and I don't have any inside info on this, but I have a sense, because Mark Carney has spoken to liberal conventions before. He's been very close to Justin Trudeau before. He hasn't been an outsider. He's been involved closely with Justin Trudeau and his inner circle. I really think Mark Carney is going to be a candidate in the next general election, and he's going to play a major role in Justin Trudeau's strategy to renew the Liberal Party in time for the next election.
Okay. David, it's good to have you back. Thank you.
Great to be back. Have a great week, Aaron.
You too.